What's up guys, Chase here at Rocky Mountain ADV MC, and welcome to our product spotlight for the E1 Adventure and the C3 Pro from Schuberth helmets. Alright, so I have in front of me the E1 Adventure and the C3 Pro from Schuberth. If you're not familiar with Schuberth, by the end of this video, you will be. Now Schuberth, these guys are a German company. They've been around making high quality helmets for over 70 years. These guys do a ton of testing, a lot of R&D. They even have their own state-of-the-art wind tunnel to make sure they're giving you the best of the best. Now to my right, this is the C3 Pro from Schuberth. This is their touring helmet. This has been around a little bit longer than the E1, and when it comes to the modular helmet world, this helmet sits atop the pedestal. Now what they've done, they've taken this helmet, they've taken the same design, the safety, and the functionality, and they've put that into the E1 to give you an adventure and a dual sport helmet. Now I'm going to focus mainly on the E1 in this video, but just keep in mind that apart from a couple differences that I will point out, these helmets are almost the exact same. So just keep that in mind if you're interested in the C3 Pro, they're going to almost be identical. But I'm going to dive into the E1, I'm going to break this thing down from the outside and work our way in, and I'm going to give you all the information you need. This is a big investment. A lot of people want to know what makes it so expensive. So if I do my job well enough by the end of this video, you will know everything you need to buy with confidence. Alright, so before we get started, the first thing I'm going to talk about is what is a modular helmet. If you're not familiar with what that is, what it means is that the entire chin bar on this is going to flip up and out of the way. Now, why would you want a modular helmet? Well, it just adds functionality to it. If you're at a stoplight, you can lift that up, get a lot of ventilation to your face. If you stop at a gas station, you can have a drink or a snack. You don't have to take your helmet off. It's also actually really nice. You can have a conversation with somebody. You don't feel like you have to be yelling the entire time. So it just adds functionality to the helmet. You get the look and feel of a full face helmet, but you're getting the benefits of a half face helmet as well. Now the shell of this helmet, it's going to be DOT rated. It's a multi-composite fiberglass shell. It's going to be very lightweight and very strong. Now the shell on these two helmets is the exact same. Same design, same functionality. On the back here, you're going to have this spoiler that's built into the helmet. And like I said before, they do a ton of testing in their wind tunnel. Now the spoiler was designed to give good downforce, so at your higher speeds, it's going to keep the helmet very stable. It also helps eliminate buffeting. Now they tested this guy at over 150 miles an hour in their wind tunnel to make sure it's going to be stable. And another great thing about it is at 60 miles an hour, this thing is actually rated at 82 decibels of noise. So that actually makes it the quietest modular helmet on the market. So with all that extensive testing, they're making sure you're getting a very stable helmet as well as very, very quiet. Alright, so let's talk about sizing with this helmet. Now both these helmets are going to come in two shell sizes, and within those shell sizes, you're going to have extra small all the way up to triple XL. They do the different shell sizes to make sure you're going to get the right fit no matter what size head you have. Now with that in mind though, we've had multiple riders try these helmets on. In our opinion, they fit true to size, they're very, very comfortable, but make sure you use the sizing guide on our website. That will tell you what size you are going to need. Now another nice feature that Schuberth has done is that inside the helmet you actually have removable cheek pads. We'll get to those in a little bit, but you can interchange those. So if you have a wider face or a narrower face, they give you the option to interchange the cheek pads. They don't come included, but you can pick those up, and that's going to make sure you get the exact fit that you are looking for with this helmet. Now venting. When we move on and talk about venting, this is one of the differences that I mentioned before between the E1 and the C3 Pro. They anticipate that you are going to be working a little bit harder in the E1, getting sweaty. You're going to be standing up on the foot pegs if you're doing some off-roading. So they've added a vent to the mouth guard down here at the bottom, and that is going to open and close. So that's one of the big differences there. That's going to get you more airflow to the face. Again, they anticipate you working a little bit harder in this helmet. And then up here at the top, you are going to have this hood scoop. It's going to actually have three positions. You're going to have fully closed, halfway, or all the way open. And that is going to channel air through the helmet, through the EPS liner, and it's going to vent out of the back. Now, when they do their wind testing in their tunnel, they say that this thing is going to flow 8.5 liters of air per second. So you're going to get a lot of airflow through this helmet. Now, if we turn around and look at the back here, this is one of the cool designs that I like. You're not going to have any external vents on the back of this helmet. Instead, what they've done, you're going to have multiple air channels running through the EPS liner. You're actually going to have two holes back here in the back of the liner, and the air is going to go through there. And then if we turn around and look at the bottom, how they've designed the air to escape out of this helmet is as it's channeled through the EPS liner, they actually at the bottom of the neck roll here have this section, which is actually a real porous mesh, and the air is going to escape through that mesh section of the neck roll. Now the reason they've designed it that way is they want the air to be able to circulate and pass over the entire rider's head before it actually goes out of the helmet to make sure it's going to pull as much heat away as possible. Now moving on, we're going to talk about the visor, and then we're going to talk about the shield. Now clearly, obviously, the visor is going to be one of the biggest differences between the E1 and the C3 Pro. Now as I talked about before with Schuberth, these guys do a ton of testing. I love the design that they've done with this visor. You're going to have 3 different positions that you can set this visor, and you're going to be able to lock it into positions. Very easy to do. On the side of the visor here, you have these 2 tabs, one on each side. You're just going to flip those up, and it's going to snap the visor into place. So if you want to bring it all the way back, bring it up, and you're going to lock it into position. And along with that design, what they've done, this is actually, I think, absolutely awesome. If I take this chin bar and I flip it up, the visor is going to come up with the chin bar. And when I set it back down, the visor is going to go back to the last place that I had it set. So if I want to set it all the way forward, lock it into place, lift my chin bar up, put it back down, that visor goes right back to where I left it. So that just speaks volumes about the engineering that has gone into this helmet. Now with that in mind, I'm going to take it off. It's very easy to do. You can do this without any tools. You can even do it with a gloved hand if you need to. You're going to take these screws here. All it is just a quarter turn back, and this visor is going to pop right off. So I'm going to leave that off here for just a few minutes while we talk about the shield on both these helmets. Now keep in mind the shield on the E1, the C3 Pro, they are the exact same. Now with this helmet, I like the design that they've done with this. You can tell they've thought everything through. I even like that they have 2 tabs on the bottom of the shield right here. So no matter what hand you want to use, you're going to be able to flip the shield up very easily. And you are going to have multiple detents for the shield. It's going to stay in place very well. Weather gasket around the entire opening to keep out Mother Nature. It also helps keep that wind noise down. So if we close this, both the shields, now these are going to be optical class 1 clarity. That means there's going to be no distortion with this shield. So Schuberth has sought out the best possible quality with their shield. So you're getting optical class 1 clarity, and you are also getting scratch resistant lens along with the PinLock system, which is anti-fogging, and I'm going to show you that here in just a minute. But the lens is going to be removable. It's very easy to do. So if you want to do a smoke shield or a different lens, you would be able to do that. It's very easy to use. Up here at the top, they have these in what they're called turbulators. These turbulators are designed to cut through the wind to keep the noise level down, and it helps with the aerodynamics of the helmet. And then up here at the top, I will show you, you are going to have these reflective panels here. That way, when you're in the rider position, headlights are going to reflect off that. Make sure you are seen extremely well from other cars. Now, the last thing I'm going to mention with the visor or with the shield system is you are going to have included with this helmet a drop-down sun visor. Now, the way I work it is over here on the left side of the helmet, you're going to have this tab. It's very easy to find with your finger or a gloved hand. You're going to pull it back to bring it down. You're going to push it forward to bring it back up. Now, as I talked about before with Schuberth, these guys only want the best of what's available. So when they made this drop-down sun visor, they saw out the strictest sunglass standards in the world, and that is what they used to build this sun visor. So this is going to give you very good UV protection for your eyes, and what's nice, you can take the shield completely off and you can still rock the sun visor. Now, if you need to remove your shield, it's very easy to do. I'll show you how to do that right now. You're just going to pick the shield all the way up, and then on the side right here, you're going to have 2 little tabs. You're going to have one on each side, and what you do is you're just going to press those forward, and then you're just going to roll the visor completely back, and it's going to roll right off the helmet. So it's very easy to take off if you do want to interchange your visor or your shield. Now, what we're going to talk about next is going to be the PinLock system. I talked about that before, and what it is an anti-fogging technology. It's not a coating that goes on the lens. Rather, what it is, it's a separate lens that goes on the inside. You can see it on this shield that I have right here. Now, I do want to point out that this shield is yellow. That's because there's a protective coating on the lens. If I were to peel that off, it would be clear just like the outer shield. But how it works is, think of a dual pane window that you have at your house. It separates the warm air on the inside from the cold air on the outside, which is going to drastically help reduce fogging with your shield. So that is going to come included with the E1 and the C3 Pro. So that's just a big perk that you're getting with these helmets. All right, so now that I've showed you everything on the outside of the helmet, let's take a look at what's going on the inside. So let me move this out of the way, grab my helmet donut. C3 Pro, you are moving over. Now on the bottom of this helmet, this is going to be one of the differences between the E1 and the C3 Pro, is going to be the material on the bottom of the neck roll here. So because this is a dual sport adventure helmet, they anticipate you working a little bit harder. You might need to take this off and put it in the dirt. If that's the case, they've designed the material on the bottom of this neck roll just to be a little bit more rugged than the C3 Pro, just to hold up a little bit better. But the neck roll is very encompassing. That's how they help keep that wind noise down and make this helmet so comfortable is it gives a very good snug fit around the bottom of the rider's head. Now down here at the bottom, again, as we talked about before, this is your mesh panel where that hot air coming through the helmet is going to vent out, and you are going to have reflective panels on the bottom here. So when you're in that rider position, that's going to reflect really well off any car's headlights. If we work our way up, next thing we'll talk about is going to be this neck strap. I like it for a couple reasons. One, it's fleece lined, it's very comfortable and soft against your skin, and they've actually used a ratchet system. These are very popular with European brands. It's easy to operate with one hand. You can even do it with a gloved hand. So if it's already latched up, to undo it, you're just going to pull on this red tab and you can pull that right out. So it's a very good design and it makes it very easy to use. Next, you're going to talk about how to flip the chin bar up. You're going to have this red tab here at the bottom. One finger, you're just going to press it in. That is going to allow me to flip this chin bar up. So it's very easy to operate. Again, a lot of those creature comforts they have built into this helmet. So now we're going to move in. Let's talk about the liner. Up here at the top, you are going to have this chin skirt right here, and this is going to be removable and it is adjustable. So depending on the size of your neck, you can move this in or out, and that's going to allow you to get that fit that you're looking for those cooler days. It'll help keep that cold air out, but you can remove it if it is warm outside. So again, a lot of adjustability on the inside of this helmet as well. Now the liners on these helmets, you're going to have CoolMax moisture wicking antimicrobial liners on both these helmets. They're both going to be completely removable and they are going to be washable. One of the differences though with the E1, on the inside here up along the crown of your head, and I'll show it to you here in just a second, it's a little bit different material. It's going to be built to wick away moisture just a little bit better. However, still both liners extremely comfortable, very nice to wear all day long. So this is that CoolMax comfort liner that I talked about originally. Now this is going to be a little bit more porous, a little bit rougher than the C3 Pro. Again, they just anticipate you working a little bit harder in this helmet, so it is designed to wick away moisture a little bit better. And then underneath your comfort liner, you're going to have a dual density EPS liner that's going to be very good for absorbing impacts. Now with that in mind, that is the inside of the helmet. There's a couple more things that I want to touch on with this helmet. One is going to be the anti-roll-off technology. When we talk about safety, Schuberth wants to make sure that if you did have a crash, there's no way for this helmet to actually come off the rider's head. So what they've done is if I flip this helmet to the back here, you see these two rivets? Well, these have straps actually attached to them on the inside, and those connect to your cheek pads. And if you did have a crash, those help prevent the helmet from rolling off the rider's head. So again, a lot of added and built-in safety into this helmet. All right, so the last thing that I'm going to talk about is going to be the SRC system, which stands for Schuberth Rider Communication. Now, Schuberth knows that a lot of people, they like to have Bluetooth communication devices, but not everyone likes to have those hanging off the side of the helmet. So what they've done is they have made an aftermarket neck roll. You buy this separate, and what it actually has is a Bluetooth communication system that is built into it. So you would buy this separate, and this goes for the C3 Pro or the E1 Adventure. You would take out your neck roll, you would replace it with that. So you're going to get that OEM fitment. Everything is built in, so you don't have to worry about having anything dangling off the side of the helmet. And on the inside of the liner, the EPS liner, you are going to have cutouts for the speakers for any Bluetooth device along with the SRC system as well. Now, if you were to take that comfort liner out, last thing I'll touch on is that you would see there is a dual band antenna that Schuberth has incorporated into this helmet. So it wraps around the crown of the helmet, and what it does, it works along with the SRC system, and it just adds to the range of that. So you're getting added range, added distance with your Bluetooth communicator. All right, guys, so that sums up the E1 Adventure and the C3 Pro from Schuberth. Now remember, this is a big investment, but in our opinion, this is one of the most feature-rich helmets that's available, and at 82 decibels, it is the quietest modular helmet that is available. If you do have more questions, head over to our website and read about it or comment below. We will make sure we get all your questions answered. And remember, as always, anything over 75 bucks is always going to ship free. Now we know sometimes fit is a concern, but don't worry, we have our apparel fit guarantee. So if you get a size, if you're not happy with it, send it back to us in brand new unworn condition, and we will provide free shipping on your first exchange. I'm Chase here at Rocky Mountain, and we'll see you on the trails.